Hi, my name is AJ Andrews, and I am the owner-broker of Realty Network Associates, and I'm here today to talk about short sales versus foreclosures. I guess first off, you just want to know, hey, is a short sale my best option? Actually, no, your best option is try to modify your loan and go to your lender and see if they're willing to modify it and get that price down for you, something you can afford. Assuming that you have tried that already, your second option should be a short sale as opposed to letting your house go to foreclosure. I know some people out there, they just feel that, well, you know what, I've had it with this lender, I've had it with this house, and they say, I'm just going to let it go. I just think that's the worst thing that you could possibly do. So a short sale is definitely a better option than doing a foreclosure, letting your house go to foreclosure. And one of the questions that we get a lot is, first of all, do you even qualify to do a short sale? That's not necessarily the key. Just because you owe more than what your house is worth does not mean that that you can do a short sale. The lender goes by debt-to-income ratios. They figure how long you've been in the house, whether it's your primary residence, when the loan was originated. So there's a lot of factors involved in whether or not you even qualify to do a short sale. But assuming that you can't afford it, and that you legitimately can't afford it, then you would probably qualify for a short sale. So basically, before you do it, obviously one of the big questions people do have is, am I responsible for the deficiency? Now, the deficiency basically is, say your house is worth $250,000 and you owe $300,000. So the bank comes in and they do a foreclosure, and you owe $50,000. They sell it at auction for $250,000. Can they come after you for the deficiency? The answer is yes. Massachusetts is a recourse state. So in Massachusetts, foreclosure, short sale doesn't matter. If the bank settles for less than what they're owed, they reserve the right to come after you. Now, never really seen them come after anybody after foreclosure. I think they assume they can't get blood from a stone, and that's not the case. But you know what? They have the ability to do that. They're able to exercise that option because Massachusetts is a recourse state. So that's one reason why just a foreclosure doesn't make sense, because you open yourself up to that. With a short sale, like I said, they could come after you for on a short sale as well. However, when we negotiate the short sale, part of the deal, part of the short sale negotiations is that you're not responsible for the deficiency. And we get it right in the short sale agreement, so that way down the road you don't have to be looking over your shoulder. That's part of the deal. These banks are willing to waive that. Again, they know they're not going to get blood from a stone. So you know what, that's the big thing that I think a short sale brings to the table more than a foreclosure, is that you get that in writing that they're not coming after you for that deficiency. The other advantages of a short sale is you sell on your own terms. Basically it's a short sale. After a short sale, it becomes a regular deal. Okay, with a foreclosure, you have it advertised in the newspaper. You have 20 people showing up in front of your house. You got an auctioneer bidding it out, and then you got somebody that buys it, and then next thing you know, you're being evicted. So you're going through all this turmoil. You got all this stuff going on around you. Whereas a short sale, all you have to do is, we require a bunch of paperwork, which again, we have a checklist of all that stuff. And we contact your lender, we start the negotiations, we get an offer on your property, and outside of the short sale negotiation, it's a regular sale. The people come in, they do their inspection, they get their financing, we set up a closing date, provided we get the approval and the approval is satisfactory to us. We have a closing date, and we hit that closing date. You move out, the new people move in. The only difference between it outside the short sale negotiation, obviously you don't get any money at the closing. But the fact is, it's a regular sale. And again, it's not people on your front lawn auctioning it off. That's another big thing that I think is important to realize. So some things people ask us is, do I have to consider bankruptcy? Again, if they waive the deficiency, there's really no reason to consider a bankruptcy. With a foreclosure, you may have to do a bankruptcy. And again, this gets all down to how it's going to affect your credit. But the whole bankruptcy thing is something that we like to try to avoid. Not saying that it doesn't have to be an option, because when it's something like this, as it goes, we'll decide whether or not it is a consideration. Especially if you have a second mortgage who's being difficult, sometimes you have to do a bankruptcy just to get rid of them. But again, that's something that we can talk about based on your own particular situation. But for the most part, we get their deficiency waived, so there's no need for a bankruptcy. A lot of people ask, how does it affect my credit? Well, obviously it's going to hurt your credit. There's no question about it. It's basically the lender is taking less than what they're owed, and that's how it shows up on your credit. Under the FHA guidelines today, right now, is if you go into a bankruptcy, if you go into a short sale with good credit, which very few people do, I'll be honest with you. If you go into it with good credit, within 2 years you can actually buy another property, get another mortgage. If you go into a short sale with bad credit, as long as you reestablish your credit, it's 3 years. So 3 years from now isn't a long time. I mean, it's unfortunate, but again, if you can't afford the property, to let it go to foreclosure as opposed to doing the short sale and getting back in the game within 3 years, because the foreclosure is probably going to be more 5 or 6 years. But at some point, no matter what you do, as long as you reestablish, you're going to be okay. But you have all these other reasons. You have all these other reasons why a short sale is better than a foreclosure. So basically, the advantages are you don't have a public auction out front of your house. It's better on your credit. You can sell the property on your own terms, and more than anything else is that the deficiency gets waived. That's the biggest thing that you can do, and you get out from underneath that debt. You reorganize, and in a few years you get back in the game. But again, a foreclosure, I just think it creates more problems than anything else. If you do have any questions, any further questions regarding this, if I can answer anything else, just trying to make this a quick video to get it out there so people can see it. And you can give me a call at 508-822-0500, or you can send me an email at ajandrews@realty-net.com. I hope this helped, and again, if you have any questions, please give me a call. Thanks.